Hello everyone, Adam here, and recently Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Remastered launched as a time exclusive for the PlayStation 4. It is coming to Xbox One and PC on April 30th, which has a lot of people livid for, good reason, but it is available now for PlayStation 4, and I was going to do a full review, but when I was writing this, I decided to shift it to just a general impressions. Because of this, it will not be scored, it will just be my impressions of the game, as it will have two sets of gamers experienced in this remastered version of the game. Those people like myself who experienced the original 2009 release will have a different opinion as opposed to people who just come into this game brand new, never an experience in it, which is understandable. This, again, game came out in 2009, so I can understand how people will have different impressions of how they experience it. So let's get on to it. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 takes place after the events of the original Modern Warfare, not the 2019 release. Soap, the protagonist from the first game, is leading a new special unit to take down the ultra-Russian nationalist party led by Viktor Malakov, who has been rising in power ever since the previous Russian nationalist leader was killed. I won't spoil it just in case because people somehow haven't experienced the original Call of Duty 4. Either way, the narrative is your traditional stop the evil terrorist, but it's how it's conveyed that's done really well. Similar to The Last of Us that tells a traditional post-apocalyptic story, it's how the narrative is constructed that can make a bare-bones story soar. And it's done right here, with the game showing how far Victor is willing to go in his campaign in one of the most bloody and controversial scenes in gaming. The airport scene shows Victor, his men, and an undercover agent you play as going on a rampage, killing civilians in an airport in Russia. You can skip this scene without any negative consequences, trophies, and otherwise, but without this mission, the story loses much of its appeal, highlighting the brutality of this party and why it needs to be stopped. The game has you in control of various soldiers ranging from Soap himself, his fellow soldiers inside his unit, and a ranger fighting on the front lines against the Russian army back in America. Beanox, who did the remastering job, did an outstanding job with the remastering of this game, with the visuals being on par with modern releases. It doesn't come close to Modern Warfare 2019's visuals, which should be expected, but it's still very impressive. The gameplay hasn't changed, it's still the same Call of Duty experience you would come to expect. You will kill a series of soldiers in a variety of missions around the world, with the occasional sneak-in mission provided. It's all well done and maintains the same formula fans of the series love. I especially love the sneak-in missions. It's much better, in my opinion, than 2019 Modern Warfare's because it gives you a much more surreal experience as you take down soldiers in synchronized shots as you move through the environment, as opposed to Modern Warfare 2019's experience where you have this large map and you'll have to take out a series of objectives over the course of the mission. I wasn't really a fan of that mission, and judging from Reddit posts about Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019, it was one of the least favorable missions within the entire campaign. Being that this is just a remastered version of the 2009 game, Beanox hasn't changed any of the issues with the original title. Players will still get caught in the game's geometry, AI allies will often block the player's path and get in the way of shots, and the enemy AI can range between completely brain dead to precise marksmen, especially in veteran difficulty. The biggest issue for me is telling the difference between enemy and ally soldiers from afar. While some soldiers wear red uniforms, making it easy to tell the difference, some wear dark green clothing that can be mistaken for your allies, and the game knows this is an issue, allowing the player a few free passes when shooting allies, but frequent kills will end the mission. A simple highlight of the allies would have fixed this issue, but perhaps this was for balancing issues. Another major issue that fans will notice is the lack of multiplayer. There is no cooperative missions or competitive option. This is likely to prevent a split within the customer base. Yes, I meant customer base, not player base. Likely Activision doesn't want players to spend time in Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer and instead spend time in Modern Warfare 2019 or the free-to-play game Warzone. This is probably for the best, as Activision did try to sell back players' maps when Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare Remastered launched. Yeah, I still remember that, and that was complete BS. this means that the game doesn't have a lot of replayability. You can collect the various collectibles to unlock new challenges and funny cheats, and there are trophies to collect. But overall, the campaign is short. I completed it in about 4 hours on my first playthrough and 6 on veteran. But I did play the original game, so maybe that's why I was able to steam through it. But either way, once you complete the campaign, there isn't very much left to play, and for a $20 game, that doesn't seem like a lot. Overall, the campaign does still hold up today. It's still a great military shooter. In fact, it's one of the best campaigns in the Call of Duty Modern Warfare series and Call of Duty franchise in general. To me, the only two campaigns that excel beyond Modern Warfare 2's campaign are Call of Duty 4 and Black Ops 3. And it's still a fantastic shooter. It has an incredible soundtrack. In fact, I was impressed of how well the soundtrack was, and I mostly ignore Call of Duty musical scores as I mostly focus on the gameplay. But for $20, I can't really recommend the game unless you're a die-hard Call of Duty fan or want to revisit the campaign like I did. If you're heavy into multiplayer, it's probably a pass. But for everyone else, like myself, who want to re-experience the campaign or are just really diehard Call of Duty fans, it might be worth a purchase. So there are my impressions on Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Remastered. Like I said, I'm not going to give this a score. I'm just going to give a short impressions of what I think and if it's worth a purchase to people who are either pre-ordering it on Xbox One and PC or playing it or consider buying it on PlayStation 4. So there's the video. Tell me what you think in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Stay awesome, everyone. Also, check out my Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Remastered walkthrough, and I have a couple of videos showcasing the cheats that are pretty funny to experience. So I'm going to end it here. Stay awesome, everyone.